this?
Yes, sunshine is the best disinfectant.
You've written about MIT's connection to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes.
He was well connected at MIT and at Harvard. What lessons do you draw about human nature, about universities, about all of this from this saga?
Let me say this. I believe that universities, if somebody was to, for example, donate to a university and donates on the requirement that the building be named after them, if the university is taking donations and the person is funding a building and wants the building named after him, the building should be named after him, her, or them. Harvard is facing this now with the Sackler building because the Sacklers have become now a persona non grata because of their role in producing the opioids that caused the huge, scandalous opioid addiction. There are people who want to have removed the name the Sackler from the Sackler Art Museum at Harvard. Larry Bacow, the president of Harvard, to his credit, has refused to do that. If it reminds people that the money was earned through selling opioids, that's good. That's good that people understand that that's where the Sacklers got their money. They should be reminded. In my undergraduate alma mater, Princeton, there's a movement to remove the name Woodrow Wilson, because Wilson was president of Princeton before he became governor of New Jersey, before he became president of the United States. How he got to be governor of New Jersey was he was so insufferable that the trustees of Princeton got him the nomination to run for governor of New Jersey. They had said, we got to get this guy out of here. Not because he was anti-Black and anti-Semitic, because the trustees were as well, but because he just was insufferable. He drove the faculty crazy, and they got him out. So Princeton was thinking of changing the name. I wrote a letter to President Eisgruber at Princeton saying, this is part of the university's history. You don't want to rewrite history falsely. Woodrow Wilson was the president of this institution. He was one of your predecessors. He never answered me either. I think these people, they know they have no answer. The reason I didn't get a response from President Eisgruber is the same as the reason I didn't get a response from the headmaster of Milton Academy. They understand that what they're doing is violative of the fundamental precepts of academic institutions. Yeah. They're ashamed. They feel they have no choice because they feel that they would be criticized for racism, homophobia, blah, 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 blah.
Criticized by how many people?
Well, they feel that they would be criticized by students and parents and donors. I disagree with that. I actually think there are more people out there that agree with me than agree with them.
Yeah, by a large margin.
By a large margin in what I call the real world, which is the world outside the campus. But academics are afraid they'd be criticized. They're incredibly thin-skinned. When I say academics, I mean academic administrators. They're very thin-skinned, politically correct, holier than thou. As I said, I would fire 95% of them, and I would be more careful in who I elected to lead these institutions. So I said Pauline Gay is probably going to be a disaster at Harvard.
So it takes guts, it takes courage to be in the administration when the task of protecting the freedom of speech is there. Yeah. And also, which in part requires you to admit and to uphold the mistakes you have done in the past.
Correct.
Not to hide them.
Correct.
And that to you, I mean, Jeffrey Epstein for Harvard and for MIT is a very recent mistake.
Well, there's a debate whether it's a mistake. They took money from him.
Yes.
Okay. Is it a mistake to take money from bad people? Do you have to do a morals test of a potential donor? I don't think so.
It's complicated because
if there are no conditions attached to it, I think it's emotionally complicated. I don't think that it is rationally complicated. It's emotionally complicated. It's particularly complicated if they want naming rights.
Yes.
The Jeffrey Epstein Biological Laboratory, that would be a problem for most universities. I don't think that naming rights have to be given to somebody that you don't think is worthy of having their name. I think the university has the right to say, no, we'll take your money, but we will not name the building after you. I think they have a right to do that.